Hey guys, and welcome back to another video with Raf Gaming. Today is the big day, Stadia Connect Day. We're going to be talking exclusives, pro games, ESRB checks. It is time for some speculation. Stay tuned, guys. Hey guys, make sure to check us out on the TJ's podcast tonight. We'll be watching the Stadia Connect live. We'll be watching a little bit before to give our predictions, and we'll be watching during to give our views on it and our reactions. Then after, we'll be talking about it, so make sure you watch that. So this morning, ESRB dropped 3 games onto their rating site, and shout out to Wolok for putting me onto that, and Stadia Source for writing the article. So shout out to Stadia Source, your #1 place for news. Make sure you check them out. The 3 games that were announced on their rating site, and for those of you who don't know, ESRB stands for Entertainment Software Ratings Board. These are essentially the people that give the game the age rating for each console. So this morning, they put on one for WWE 2K Battlegrounds, a completely new WWE gaming experience that will feature arcade-style action and over-the-top superstar designs, environments, and moves focusing on social pickup and play fun, but with plenty of depth for those who want to get away with it. Possibly, we might see this game in the fall instead of their normal 2K WWE game that they're not actually putting out this year. So for me, this is a potential game that we might see a trailer for or hints of at the Stadia Connect. Maybe even a few Stadia features where you can kind of use some of their features like crowd play or crowd choice, just in those sort of ways they can implement that into the game. So that would be a big shout for them if they could do something like that with it. The next game was Octopath Traveler. 8 travelers, 8 adventures, 8 roles to play in a new world brought to life by Square Enix. Explore each traveler's story and use their abilities in and out of battle. So this is quite a heavy RPG game which came out I think in 2018 on the Switch. So again, this might be another possible game that we might even have drop straight after. So these are the possibilities. You might see a trailer for it or some sort of drop in, drop out sort of thing. And then the last one that I think is the most predominant one in this is Public Unknown Battlegrounds, also known as PUBG. Battlegrounds is a player versus player shooter game in which up to 100 players fight in a battle royale, a type of large-scale last man standing deathmatch where players fight to remain the last alive. Players can choose to enter the match solo, duo, or the small team of up to 4 people, and this game is actually already out. I think this game has the most potential on Stadia, because as you know, Stadia can hold up to 1,000 players at a time, or 1,000 players at a time on the screen and not have any problems with it. And that would be another feature that can be implemented into PUBG. Not right now, where the numbers are quite low, but it'd be a great game to try and put out there. And there could be sort of Stadia features such as Stadia Connect, crowd choice, like what kind of gun they find, and crowd play. So there's lots of stuff that you can implement into this, and these type of games will be the perfect. And I think it's the kind of the closest game to a free-to-play game that we will have on there, and which then means that there might be cross-play, which would be quite good. Or my favorite choice here, this might be a May Pro game, and I'll tell you why. We just had an influx of new Stadia players, and what does that mean? That means there are going to be tons of players that need games to play. And if we have that as a free game, that definitely brings in more people to play that game. And that just brings up and adds up to numbers. And also, if they do add the crossplay, that makes it even better. But we'll have to wait and see. In fact, might as well add that they might even have a special Stadia only feature where they do have bigger numbers of people on the battlefield. But that's just speculation there, which is what this all is. Next, we're going to talk about Stadia exclusives. So yesterday on Twitter, I posted a little 3-piece thread, and I was just thinking, what was announced in January? So in January, what was announced was an article that said, "We have a lot planned and will continue to work hard toward delighting gamers with our vision for Stadia. Looking at our upcoming lineup, we are tracking more than 120 games coming to Stadia in 2020. So that's all good, but this is the part that stood out to me. And are targeting more than 10 games in the first half of this year alone that will be available on Stadia when they launch." Now, when they say available on Stadia when they launch, they don't necessarily mean Stadia only exclusives. They can be timed exclusives. And when they say when they launch, then it does tend to mean that they are more or less timed exclusives. However, so far this year, with the exception of Guilt, because Guilt came out last year, so that's not going to be counted on this. But if we take 10 and we go, right, so far this year we've had Spitlings, we've had Lost Words, we've had Stacks on Stacks on Stacks. Get Packed is imminent to come out, so I'm assuming that's going to come before the end of this half of the year, which is the end of June. So I'm going to add Get Packed to that list. That makes 4. 5, I'm going to add Orcs Must Die 3, because that has been said to be coming by the end of spring. So that's 5 games already. And then we have 6, which I'm adding 6 because we know that Necrosoft are going to put out that game Gunsport. And to me, I'm assuming that game's going to come before the end of the half of the year, because it seems like they've resurrected it and they were talking about it in such good light. But again, that's another game that I think could be a pro game, but we'll get into that a bit later. So that's 6 games so far. That's still 4 games that can still come by the end of June, before the first half of the year, to make those 10 Stadia exclusives. Now, my speculation here is, right, are we going to get some announcements of those Stadia exclusive games? Even if they're timed exclusive, are we going to get announcements at this Stadia Connect today? See, and that's the big thing that's blowing my mind, because it's like, wait, we're still kind of not owed these games, but we were told about these games. And I want to say they said more than 10 games in the first half of the year. So 10 was basically the minimum number. Can you see where I'm going with this? So are we going to get some Stadia exclusives shown at this event? Or are we going to get some Stadia exclusives before the end of this event? In fact, at the end of this event, will we get some games that just drop instantly? There's so much that can actually happen. But I feel like we are going to see some Stadia exclusives, whether they're third party, first party, AAA, AA, or just single A. I feel like we will get something, and they will more or less tend to lean in the direction of exclusives. But again, everything that's going on in the world, we have to take that with a pinch of salt. So that might have been delayed or might have changed their sort of roadmap. Please keep that in mind. Now, pro games. Right, so far you've heard 2 of my predictions already. You've heard PUBG, Public Unknown Battlegrounds. That's definitely one that I can see being a pro game, because that's a brilliant game to bring when we've just had an influx of 500,000 people, or at least 500,000 people have downloaded the app. So we have to take that with a pinch of salt as well. So we've had loads of people come in. That would be a great game to have. That would fill up the servers quickly and have lots of games going at once. Necrosoft with Gunsport, which I can see being a pro game because it is pretty much fully resurrected and funded by them. And then we have Get Packed, which may or may not be a pro game. I know they've been giving out codes, or said that they've been giving out codes as prizes, but that's fine. They were prizes, they were free entries. No one paid to go into those competitions. So that does mean that they can still drop that as a pro game. You don't really know, do you? So that's 3 games. But my prediction is that I think we're going to get more than 3 pro games this month. I really do. I think we're going to get quite a few pro games, maybe 5 being max. But that, again, that's my prediction, and they saved it for this event. They could have done this event on any day, but they chose it for this Tuesday. So the games that are going to be pro games have to be big games, in my opinion. They have to be games that stand out, games that pop in your face. So they're going to be announcing them at this Stadia Connect, and they do not want to look silly. So my speculation for tonight is 1. We will get a free-to-play Stadia game that will be a Stadia exclusive, and it might not be one of the best free-to-play games out there, but it will be a show of what they can do in a limited amount of time, and that's down to Project Chimera, or Chimera, however you pronounce it. And I say it's down to that because they've shown that this program works and it can push out games a lot quicker than if you had massive amount of teams reproducing it all the time, whereas this program here has the power to do essentially what you could do with a massive team with just 14 people. And if they have a massive team and they're using this program, that's a lot quicker than anything you might be able to see. So That's my first prediction, a free-to-play Stadia exclusive, and whether it's first or third party does not matter to me. 2, we're going to see a teaser trailer for a Stadia exclusive, and I'm very adamant on that one. I'm pretty sure that one's coming. And 3, I'm going to make it a little bit of an easy one. We will be seeing a lot of new games coming to Stadia, and I don't think we're going to see that many games that have been on other consoles. I reckon we will see pretty much 99% just new games, and that's my speculation, people. But what I would like to know is what you guys think down in the comments. Please let me know what your 3 predictions are, what you see, what you think of what I've said, and that's pretty much it. And just one more reminder, guys, don't forget TGOS podcast on the Glory of Stadia YouTube channel. We will be live streaming this half an hour before the event to give our predictions. We'll be watching it live so you can see our reactions to it, and then thirdly, we'll be speaking after it so we can give you our views and opinions on it, as long as there haven't been any massive games that have dropped, because boy, I am excited for that. But anyway, guys, thank you for listening to this video. I hope you have a great day, and guys, don't forget, Stadia Connect is tonight.